athletes avoid injury and optimize by following these 3 points. My name is Dr. Isaac with Lifetime Wellness and Chiropractic here in Denver, and I've been injured playing basketball, soccer, skiing. I've definitely been injured playing several sports. And I found out I actually had a structural imbalance in my body that was contributing to some repetitive injuries that I have experienced in the past. So I want you to like and follow us so you can get more great content in the future as well. So there's 3 points I want to go over. First one's going to be balance. The second one is going to be evaluating your nervous system. It controls everything in your body. Then the third one is to make sure you have your body worked, okay? So the first point here, structural balance. Now, most people think of balance as being standing on one foot. How long can you do that? Do you have to put your other foot down? And that's definitely important, but that's not the structural imbalance I'm talking about. But if you just stand on your left and right leg and close your eyes, you should be able to do that for around 4 seconds without your eyes opening or having to catch yourself. If you can't do that, definitely there's a disconnect between your body and your brain and the nervous system. But no balance now. No balance, there's your hips can be uneven. That's going to create uneven wear and tear on your body. Potentially, for some people, it could be causing chronic hip pain, hamstring strains, quad strains, calf issues, plantar fasciitis. When you're really out of balance, you can find out there's one way to do it, especially if your hips are out of balance. But what you do is you find 2 scales like this. You stand with 1 foot on each scale with your feet turned out a little bit so you don't cover the numbers. Have else look at the numbers. Don't look down and see if they're even. If they're not even, definitely you have a structural imbalance, most likely stemming from your hips being out of alignment. And that can happen when the muscles in your low back, when one side gets tighter than the other. That's very common to see. That was essentially what I had going on for myself. So the other structural balance issue, though, is more from the side profile. So if you were to be walking around with your head out here, what's going to happen is it's going to put a lot of stress and strain into your low back, but also your hamstrings and your calves are going to be super tight. So if you're noticing that you always have tight hamstrings, tight quad, or tight calves, then that is going to be a big challenge for you if your head is way out here, because that's creating stress for your lower body as well as your neck and shoulders. But that's going to contribute to chronic hamstring strains, pulls, and things of that nature. So that's the second structural balance issue that you need to be aware of and get taken care of if you have that. So many people have that nowadays because of being on devices and computers, whether you're studying, working on the computer at home, or being on your devices looking down. Now, the other item is definitely, and the point is going to be having your nervous system. I want to show you an example of progression. This is one way we evaluate somebody's nervous system. This would be their initial assessment, second, third, and fourth. And so we can see definitely that there's progress being made in their nervous system. There's better connection between the brain and the body, which impacts your reaction time, which helps also decrease repetitive stress and strain injuries, and helps your body better coordinate itself. So if you're in some sort of or sport, the time is important. Staying healthy, staying in the game is important to you and your team. It's critical to make sure your nervous system is being evaluated and checked and then optimized when needed. Okay. The third point that I want to go over is definitely body work. Body work is super important, especially when you're doing a lot of repetitive movements and training to prepare for your activity, whether it's running or it's some other competitive sport. So the repetitive movements definitely put that stress on your body. So you need to have maybe an athletic trainer that can help you get stronger or evaluate maybe compensations in muscle groups. The other practitioners you might want to consider would be like a massage therapist to help with getting lactic acid out or helping the muscles recover after repetitive use or an injury with a strain or sprain. Also, a chiropractor would be very helpful because they are helping to manage the nervous system and keeping that stress at a minimum so your musculoskeletal system can be optimized and working the best of its ability. So definitely body work is a huge component as well. Again, the 3 different areas in summary that you want to make sure you're addressing to avoid injury and to optimize your body for best performance are making sure you have your structural alignments checked and managed if that is something that's an issue for you. Second is evaluating your nervous system to make sure that's optimized as well. And then third is getting that body work done. Hope that's been helpful. Follow us for more great content.